Are you trying to deliver more functionality into production? Are your users asking you to allow them to decrease the time to market and get into production a little bit quicker so that functionality is available in a shorter time? Hi, I'm Peter Nichol, Data Science CIO, and I have some ideas for you today. Today, we're going to talk about DevOps and Dev operations. DevOps was coined in 2009 by Patrick Du Bois, the father of DevOps. And really, DevOps is a combination of development and operations. It's the kind of classic yin and yang of developers typically wanting to release more code into production and having a constant change type of environment. Operations, on the other hand, is focused on stability and less about change and more about establishing a base of operations. So you have these two kind of polar opposites. Developers want to introduce constant change and be constantly meeting those business expectations. On the other hand, operations is worried about availability and stability and so forth, and it creates a conflict. So the two main focuses of dev operations and the goals of dev operations are first, to decrease cycle time, and second, increase deployment frequency. So we want to be able to decrease the time it takes to go from, hey, we need to fix this, or we need to add this functionality, to the time that it's ready to go into production. And second, we want to decrease the frequency at which we release functionality to be available to our business users. And those are really the two main goals of dev operations. The benefits are continuous value delivery. As we automate these different processes through the development and operations lifecycle, we remove waste and we provide the ability for continuous value. Second is faster orchestration through the pipeline. Once we start to automate, we reduce the manual handoffs. And as a result, that functionality moves through, gets tested, and gets put in development much faster. And lastly, we start to reduce our cycle time. As we automate and put functionality into production and automate it, the time it takes from start to finish starts to decrease. And as a result, the perception is increased value or a faster cadence on the value we're able to provide. And those are some of the ideas behind dev operations. When you start to think about other aspects of DevOps, we start to think about whether, what type of, say, tools, for example, we can introduce into these environments. And you have tools like Jenkins and Chef and Puppet and other tools that provide workflow and workflow automation on top of some of the technologies, the operational technologies. From a macro perspective, the life cycle of dev operations is build and deploy, fix and release, and monitor and optimize. And in general, these are the different steps that allow dev operations to do their continuous value delivery cycle. So as you're thinking about different opportunities to get to market faster, to decrease cycle time, and ultimately get functionality to your business users quicker, dev operations is an awesome aspect to look at to automate a lot of the operations and development workflow throughout your life cycle. Hi, I'm Peter Nichol, Data Science CIO. Have a great week.